Alston Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
wanted to offer a special presentation for our national anthem. In honor of our students who will be going on to serve in our nation's uniformed services, we will have our national flag delivered by 2 skydivers from the Patriot Parachute team. We will exit the gym, just as we got in here, to the north parking lot out of the wind. The seniors will exit the west doors and gather just right outside near the garage. Guests who are able and would like to participate can exit through the north and east doors into the north parking lot. Once outside, look to the south to see them exit the aircraft and present our flag. One of our skydivers today is Matt Ridding, a retired F-15 pilot from the Air Force and former parachutist with the Air Force Performance Parachute Team. Our other skydiver is Isaiah Maring, a retired Navy SEAL and former parachutist with the Navy's Leapfrogs. Our national anthem will be formed a cappella outdoors, surprise, by our senior choir members. Please join me in exiting as we honor our future service members.
Okay, for anybody watching right now, thinking and wondering what's going on, don't freak out that now you're hearing a voice coming when there's no one on screen. The Hawley 2021 graduation class, as you heard from Coach Kelly Anderson, Principal Kelly Anderson, is heading outside right now to view the Patriot Parachute Jumpers as a surprise when they perform the national anthem outside. We'll have that video at the end of the broadcast with one of our interns, Preston, going out there to capture the event. After the event is done, the graduates will head back inside, spectators as well. We'll continue on with today's commencement ceremony. In the broadcast, at the end of the broadcast, we will show you the Patriot Parachute Jumpers drop zone.
My name is Grace Sherrick.
And my name is Samuel Stegan.
We are honored to welcome you all to the 2021 graduation commencement ceremony. Before we begin, we would like to extend our thank yous to each and every one of you who have supported us on our journey through our lives thus far.
The support we have received from all you friends and family have shaped us into becoming the people we are today. We will treasure the relationships we have formed over these past years. So, how do we measure what has happened during our time in Hawley High School?
We only arrived here 4 short years ago, but now it is already time to leave. But at this moment, we cannot help but look back. It seems like only yesterday we were scrawny little freshmen trying to find our way to our next class and trying to fit into the high school life. As time went on, we went from clueless freshmen to sophisticated sophomores until we walked into Mr. Heinrich's biology class. Then it all changed. When we reached our junior year, we were challenged with many obstacles, such as Mrs. Siegel's class, from which we learned to overcome. But before we knew it, it was our senior year, and in a blink of an eye, we stand before you today.
In the beginning, we measured our time in class periods, semesters, and then counting down our days till summer freedom. I know now, as I look out at all of you, I will measure my time here in a much different way. I will measure it in the friendships and memories that I have made in these last couple of years. I will remember each one fondly, as I'm sure you all will too.
As our memories of high school begin to fade, that is how we will ultimately measure our time that we have spent here, not in class periods, semesters, or days until summer vacation, but in the friendships we have made and the times that we have shared together.
Congratulations to my fellow classmates and graduates of the class of 2021. Although today we will separate into 73 different paths of life, wherever we may go and whatever we may do, may we always be friends when we meet again. Thank you.
Class of 2021, here we are. We have learned a lot at Hawley High School. We can do some mad factorization.
As in factorization literally drove me mad.
Write the best literary analysis papers.
I don't know about the best.
And cook up the coolest science experiments.
I think Gunk might say something different.
Speaking of experiments, we are an experiment if you think about it, our whole generation. What will a post-September 11th generation look like?
What happens when you give children an addictive home-sized computer just in time for the cat video craze?
What happens when you add social chaos and a global pandemic to an entire nation's graduating class? Class of 2021, we are basically a petri dish.
We spent some time analyzing the data thus far, and while the experiment is far from complete, preliminary data does indicate there is one variable that gives us kids in the Midwest a pretty obvious advantage. One variable in our upbringing in rural Minnesota that we think has the power to impact how this experiment, at least for us, could turn out for the better. What is that variable?
Hot dish.
Allow me to explain. The physical separation we've experienced as a graduating class is unfortunately symbolic of the separation our nation has experienced over our lifetimes.
And while contagions cannot spread while we are all hunkered down in our homes, the infections of anger and bitterness and judgment have spread like wildfire. From last summer through this winter, it started to appear as though the outcome of this experiment was bound to be terrible. Kids who grew up under the shadow of the war on terror, the financial and housing crisis, selfies, and the toilet paper shortage of 2020 were seemingly destined to crippling anxiety and self-absorption and entitlement.
And while that might be true for some in our generation,
And every other generation for that matter.
we have had the benefit of 18 years of watching you bring the hot dish. When someone is sick, when someone is celebrating, when you don't know what to say or how to help. We've watched you do other things too. Mowing your neighbor's lawn because you know they just had hip surgery.
Organizing a spaghetti dinner for the family that lost their home in a fire.
Entire neighborhoods of dudes with snowblowers clearing the way for anyone who needs it.
Bringing the hot dish.
And in a culture with obvious differences in opinion, it's important to note that we've watched you bring the hot dish to people's houses who you don't even like because it's what you do when people are hurting.
We've watched you bid on items at a silent auction fundraiser that you didn't even want because you did want to support the cause.
We've sold you coupon books, magazine subscriptions, cookie dough, more coupon books, frozen pizzas, FFA fruit, Girl Scout cookies, and more coupon books because you care about this school.
So while this experiment could end really badly for parts of our generation and other places, we would like to thank you for your example. Because while we may be addicted to our phones and have a fair amount of anxiety about the political landscape, we also get to start our adult lives with this fundamental and timeless truth. Community matters. The variable that could very well make the difference. Understanding that our neighborhood is our responsibility.
And there are a lot more people who need to know that they matter and be included in our neighborhoods. What better way to invite them than with a piping hot masterpiece of beef, cream of celery soup, shredded cheddar cheese, and tater tots?
Well, there still is a lot we don't know about how the class of 2021 experiment will turn out. But while the data continues to roll in, don't think twice.
Bring the hot dish.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It literally bends right there. What's up? Really did him dirty like that.
Graduates, family members, and staff, it is an honor that Blake and I share to be a part of Hawley High's 2021 graduation ceremony. First of all, Blake and I would like to thank all of the teachers, staff members, and coaches that made this first chapter in life a special one. We would also like to congratulate our fellow graduates on making it here. I would also like to give a special pat on the back to Blake and I, as Miss Anderson tasked the two biggest procrastinators in the school with writing a speech. In true to form, we are writing this the day before graduation.
Dale.
We hope you can't tell. We also hope that you can't tell that Blake was not looking forward to this. The amount of times Blake has tried to back out of this speech is staggering. In fact, I've seen Blake more excited to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning for football conditioning.
This is true.
I don't know why he was dreading it so much. Yes, it is in front of hundreds of people, and we knew we were going to be ill-prepared. But at least Siegel is not in the back to stop watching flashcards. We're good.
Okay. As this chapter of our lives comes to a close, I'm sure all of us are filled with an abundance of emotions. Sad as we part ways from people we might not ever see again. Happy that we don't have to sit through another lecture in these classrooms. Excited for the unknown that awaits us, and for me, dumbfounded at how fast these years went by. Maybe for some of us, how astronomically slow they were. Either way, we have made plenty of memories, starting in the elementary hosting probably the most violent game of two-handed touch football on the planet. Spending hours playing games in Mrs. Baxter's computer lab, probably while we were supposed to be doing our history project. Sorry, Jaden. And when we got to our golden 6th grade year, where we'd finally be the kings of the school, we found out we would be the first and only 6th graders to spend our year in the high school.
I'm still mad at getting to play on the playground.
Facts. Then we moved on to the dreaded 7th grade, where we've heard rumors of homework piled higher than we can see. In reality, the only thing I can remember from my 7th grade is dancing and sword fighting in English class. And in Patsy's history, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we will never forget the film Roots. It kept sailing relatively smoothly from there until we met Heinrichs. Now, you've either had nightmares about Heinrich's 10th grade biology class, or you simply didn't go here. Little did we know that was just the beginning, because we hadn't even met Mrs. Siegel yet. Mrs. Siegel's college writing class was our first college class, and she never failed to remind us of that. But we made it through just like every other class, and I think we were all better for it. During our journey, we had to deal with some unexpected changes, like losing our therapist, choir director, Carly Grander. Not only this, but for the first time ever, because of COVID, we actually had to do assignments in choir. Well, I mean, I had to do assignments in choir.
Sorry, Jeff, still working on this.
We also switched principals and lost our English teacher, Ms. Siegel, to retirement. And there was also that COVID thing. And through all the twists and turns, we finally made it to the end. And for that, I'd like to thank the staff, especially this year with the many measures took to keep us students safe. The teachers, also especially this year, who wrote double the lesson plans they would normally. And finally, all my fellow classmates for powering through adversity and making this year, along with all of them, one to remember. I will forever be grateful and cherish the memories I've made here and the lessons I've learned.
Lastly, I hope that we all leave here with some excitement for the future. Because life is like electric lines. You really never know where you're going to be.
Well, it's that time you've been waiting for, ladies, gentlemen, administration, and school board members. The following have met all requirements set forth by the Minnesota Department of Education, the state of Minnesota, and the Board of Education of the Hawley School District for graduation from high school. Seniors, as I read your name, please receive your diploma from Superintendent Phil Jensen and board member Mark Saline. Members of the audience, please hold your applause until the diplomas have been awarded in order to show respect for all graduates. Broden Charles Albright. Morgan Esther Ames. Madison Dolores Balsden. Haley Ann Bigger. Alexander Sean Bratch. Cody Michael Browning. Skylar Elizabeth Chilton. Hannah Lynn Christensen. Cade Breyer Cassette. Thomas Larkin Derek Crompton. Addison Jade Downer. Morgan Elizabeth Ebersole. Bryce Allen Fensky. Kennedy Marie Fisher. Vincent Fitzpatrick. Destiny Christine Flayton. Jada Marie Ford. Jesse Jerome Fox. Peyton Ryan Glazman. Nicholas Stephen Groth. Braden Anthony Hager. Christian Anders Haugen. Madison Lee Heidinger. Samuel Logan Helgeson. Rudy Marie Hockett. Hallie Elaine Hoganson. Chaith Kenneth Hubbleson. Sky Olivia Johnson. Carson Richard Keeping. Claire Joylyn Keith. Ethan Thomas Austin Kenny. Gavin William Cleveguard. Justin Richard Koski. Anna Love Kronbeck. Tanner David Lester. Madison Lee Liebach. Dalton Levi London. Natalia Emma Claire Lundquist. Ella Marie Mangle. Blake Hillstrom Manfi. Levi Mickelson. Alexander Nathan Moe. Madeline Celeste Mum. Caden Thomas Murphy. Matthew Allen Nelson. Audrey Elizabeth Nicholas Jones. Abigail Rose Norris. Riley Cole Olson. Lydia Mae Osland. Zachary Edward Perala. Kendra Lynn Peterson. Haley Elizabeth Redding. Taylor Eve Reap. Billy Dean Renner. Abigail Marie Rux. Caitlin Marie Rux. Andriana Celine Mildreen Sander. Jaden Nicole Skank. Grace Lynn Schierick.
Thank you.
Reagan Lynn Celine. Kelsey Marie Sparrow. Megan Stacy Stahl. Quinton Kelvin Stifler. Samuel David Stegen. Cole Allen Wade Sunday. Mia Marie Tickle. Caitlin Rose Todd. Shane Stephen Todd. Maria Eileen Vetter. Macy Joe Wallace. Connor Lee Wilson. Alexis Jade Weiss. Graduates, please change your tassels. I proudly present to you the Hawley School graduating class of 2021. Make a comment. Now I have my remarks.
I'd just like to make a couple of quick comments. First of all, thank you for everyone. Let's have another round of applause for the Patriot paratroopers that brought the flag in. Seniors, you got to remember now a couple of things. Before a year ago, the only thing that we thought of when we heard the term hybrid was a car that Mr. Martin would drive around in, right? And now that's part of school. One last note. Thank you to Mrs. Anderson for a fantastic year as we dealt through the COVID things. Let's give her a round of applause. I got one last thing. And seniors, in the words of Toby Keith, always be humble and kind.
And I'd also like to thank the United States Navy for helping make today a reality. Lastly, I know great things are in store for this group of graduates, not because they persevered during a pandemic, no, not because of all the academic, athletic, and art accolades they have accumulated, no. I know their future is bright because collectively they nailed the processional at rehearsal yesterday and again today. They can follow brief instruction, pay attention to detail, and execute. Class of 2021, it is your time to shine.
Ready, fellas? You go first. Yep. Go ahead.
dot in this box.
It's a black book. It all does.
It's just a bunch of dots. Yours is good. Oh, yeah, that's a lot.
Really talented.